Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking into some, well, frankly, quite compelling pieces of evidence related to the 9/11 attacks that have surfaced more recently.
Yes, evidence linked to a Saudi national named Omar al-Bay. We're talking about a video of the U.S. Capitol filmed back in 1999 and also an airplane sketch, a sketch with a math formula.
A math formula, okay. And the striking thing, as I understand it, is that the FBI actually had this material quite early on.
That's right. The video came in shortly after 9/11, the sketch material seized in 2001. But somehow this information just wasn't widely shared, not within the Bureau, not with key intelligence people for years.
Incredible. And this is all bubbling up now because of that long-running lawsuit by the 9/11 families against the Saudi government.
Exactly. So that's our focus today.
Yeah, let's dig into what this evidence actually shows, why it's being seen as significant now, and maybe tackle that question of why it stayed, under the radar for so long. Let's start with the Capitol video.
Okay, so this video, it was filmed summer of 99 by Omar al-Bay. Now, he was supposedly here on a student visa.
Supposedly?
Well, yeah, because he was being paid by a Saudi aviation company, but apparently wasn't really attending classes or, working for them in any obvious way.
And the video itself, not just typical tourist shots.
Not really, no. It shows things like entrances and exits to the Capitol, security posts, even a model of the building. Plus, nearby landmarks like the Washington Monument feature, too.
Okay, and there's audio.
There is. Albee is heard speaking in Arabic. He apparently says he's sending scenes from the heart of the American Capitol, and crucially, he mentions a plan.
A plan. Wow. Okay, so what do investigators make of that?
Well, Richard Lambert, who was an FBI supervisor involved in the San Diego investigation back then, he strongly believes Albee was doing pre-operational surveillance for al-Qaeda, conducting reconnaissance.
Makes sense, especially with the mention of a plan.
Lambert points out the timing, summer 99, fits with when al-Qaeda leadership supposedly decided to target the Capitol, and he highlights the Washington Monument.
Because it's visible on approach, like a landmark for...
Exactly, for guiding hijackers to their target. So Lambert's view is this was potentially quite significant operational planning footage.
Okay, that's the video. Now, what about this airplane sketch and the formula found in his UK apartment?
Yes, found after 9/11. But here's another wow moment. Danny Gonzalez, a lead 9/11 investigator, he apparently only found out about this sketch and formula in 2012.
2012, over a decade later? How?
An FBI evidence technician contacted him about it. Just slipped through the cracks, it seems.
Unbelievable. So what about the formula itself? Did they figure out what it was for?
They did. They got aviation and aerospace experts to look at it. Their conclusion: it could be used by a pilot to calculate the rate of descent needed to hit a target on the horizon.
So, like, how fast to point the nose down to hit something specific?
Precisely. Albee, in a deposition in 2021, admitted it was his sketch, but his explanation was, well, vague. Said he didn't remember much, maybe a high school equation.
Right. That sounds a little thin, given everything else. What else did the FBI think about Albee at the time?
Well, investigators suspected he might be an operative for Saudi intelligence, and they definitely linked him to two of the actual 9/11 hijackers.
Which ones? And how?
He met Nawaf al-Hazmi and Khalid al-Mithar, the first two hijackers to arrive in the U.S. in Los Angeles. This was way back, nearly 2 years before 9/11.
And it wasn't just a casual meeting.
Oh, no, far from it. He actively helped them. He helped them move down to San Diego, found them an apartment right in his own complex, even co-signed their lease.
Co-signed their lease? Wow.
Yeah, helped them open a bank account, too. There's even video he took at a party where one of the hijackers was present, and he introduced them to people who then helped them get IDs and enroll in flight schools.
So he was really embedded with them, facilitating their initial steps in the U.S.
That's certainly how it looks, which makes the information breakdown even more baffling.
Tell me about that breakdown. This Capitol video seized in the UK. Where did it go?
It was sent to the FBI's New York office in October 2001. But it never made it to the San Diego field office, the ones actually investigating Albee directly.
So the investigators looking at him didn't see the video of him potentially surveilling a key target.
Correct. Lead investigators in San Diego, New York, people on the Joint Terrorism Task Forces, many were completely unaware of this video for years. Danny Gonzalez called the information crucial, said it could have helped build a case against Albee.
And it wasn't just FBI folks kept in the dark.
Apparently not. Gina Bennett, a former CIA counterterrorism analyst, and even former CIA Director George Tenet have both said they didn't know about the video at the time either.
That points to a pretty significant communication failure somewhere.
You could say that, yes. It raises serious questions about how information was shared or not shared between agencies, and even within them.
So how did the different parties view this evidence now? What does the Saudi government say?
They dismiss the video, just a tourist video, they say, and they deny any involvement by the kingdom or by Albi specifically in the 9/11 attacks.
But people like Gina Bennett, the former CIA analyst.
She finds the tourist video explanation unconvincing. She asks, why would a tourist focus so much on security posts, entrances, exits? It doesn't quite add up for her.
And she and Gonzalez think Alpio was more involved than maybe the official report suggested?
Very much so. They believe his role was more significant than the 9/11 Commission concluded. Bennett actually described him as potentially indispensable to Hazmi and Mithar, especially given their poor English and lack of familiarity with the West.
Indispensable, that's a strong word.
It is. It suggests he was potentially a key handler or facilitator on the ground.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the emergence of this evidence, the video, the sketch, years later, it really forces us to re-examine things.
Absolutely. It raises critical questions about just how extensive the support network for the hijackers might have been and maybe how thoroughly all leads were pursued initially.
And the information sharing aspect,
Yeah.
or lack thereof.
Definitely highlights potential systemic failures in how intelligence was handled and disseminated within the U.S. government. And remember, this is now playing a part in that ongoing lawsuit.
Right. So a final thought for you, listening. What does it really mean when key pieces of information, potentially crucial clues related to an event like 9/11, can just sit in evidence unknown to the main investigators for over a decade? And it makes you wonder, what else might still be out there?
Important questions to ponder.
Indeed. Thanks for diving deep with us today.